Cheers to living a life and drinking great beer that is severed from the norm. That's a saying from the owners of Severance Brewing Company in downtown Sioux Falls, who took a risk leaving behind their comfort to pursue a dream. And though they're beer, they have been hoping to inspire others to take a leap of faith.
I was a home brewer for quite a while, and it was just one of those things that kind of turned from a hobby into a passion and then into an obsession. It was about 2017. My wife had suggested, I was kind of losing interest in my professional career working in corporate America, and my wife suggested maybe it was time that we pursued something else for me, and that's where Severance was born. Kind of a saying that our beer is severed from the norm, and basically what I try to do when I approach a beer is not so much look at it from a style perspective, but just something that we want to have as the end state. So one good example is one of our recent releases was called Passion and Palms. The inspiration was our last trip down to Mexico that my wife and I went on to celebrate our anniversary. Her drink of choice down there was a passion fruit margarita that had a tahini rim on it. So we created a passion fruit sour that was infused with tahini to try to give that impression of actually drinking a margarita down in Mexico. Our most popular beer right now, if you're into the IPAs, is going to be Love Notes. That's been on since day one. That's a nice, juicy, citrusy, hazy IPA. We released our Amber Alexander. It's a nice malty amber ale with just a hint of hops to it. We released that back in 2020, and since then that's become our #1 seller. We really felt like we needed to be downtown. That's where a lot of the action is, and we found the Cascade, and there were a couple things that really intrigued us. One is the fact that we've got 4 levels of residential above us, and that would allow us to have some built-in clientele. We've got a really great group of regulars that are down here quite often. But then also we had found out that the Levitt bandshell was going to be going in. So that was one of the other draws for us there, along with the fact that we knew there would be a restaurant in the building as well. But outside of that, what we didn't know was going to happen was that Sioux Steel would sell to Lloyd and become the Steel District. And then we also had no idea that Jacobson Plaza was going to be going in right across the street from us either. So with those 2 things currently in the works, we're really anticipating some big changes here and a lot of additional foot traffic in the next couple of years. There you go.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Breweries that are here have really stepped up their game. There's a lot of really good beer in Sioux Falls. We get a lot of people coming through, and they're really impressed by the quality of the beer of the folks that are brewing here. I don't know if we can support as a community too many more breweries, but definitely right now we're at a good point for craft beer in Sioux Falls, and just in South Dakota in general. We still got a lot of folks that are drinking the big 3 light beers, right? And there's a lot of folks that we could transition over into craft, and some of our beers, like our Sodak Lager, they're the ones that trying to help push some of those folks over the edge into craft and introduce them into something that isn't an IPA and off the wall bitter or super fruity, but something that's still just nice and light drinking. But it's produced in small batches by hand locally by breweries here in Sioux Falls.
And Severance's next big event is going to be Kolsch Fest. That is set for Sunday, September 10th. Features a 3-course German-inspired meal along a new beer release. Tickets are available right now. We'll post the details with this story later tonight on DakotaNewsNow.com. We'll be right back.